So who are the coordinators to keep your eye on in 2019 as somebody's going to get fired in December, and we're going to be talking about these guys all over again. And all that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today, I want to talk about some of the assistant coaches we should be keeping our eye on as we head into the 2019 season. Bruce Feldman did an absolutely amazing job putting together a list of 40 guys. And rather than go through all 40 of them, I wanted to highlight some of those that I thought were just no-brainers here. And we're going to start with Clemson. Now, I thought this was really not that conservative a take because, it's just, I say a conservative take, not that hot a take. Because, it's just true. Tony Elliott and Jeff Scott at Clemson, co-offensive coordinators. Either one of those guys could be head coaches next year. And this stat is particularly astounding. It says taking over the co-offensive coordinator jobs, Chad Scott left, they're 56-4. My goodness. They both got raises in February up to $1 million each. They're just going to make all the loot and make all the money, even as Dabo Swinney took over some of the play calling duties there late into the season. I think we're going to have to keep our eye on both of those guys. I both think they're ready to go, right? The reason that we're not necessarily putting Brent Venables at the top here, I think, is because everybody knows that Brent Venables is very happy doing what he's doing out at Clemson. He gets to keep his defense. Dabo keeps his hands off his defense, and everything's honky-dory as he's one of the highest paid, if not the highest paid coordinator in all of college football. Number 2, Jeff Hafley at Ohio State, co-defensive coordinator. Now, I think this is particularly interesting because Greg Schiano did such a horrible job with a great assortment of talent, not unlike Mike Stoops at Oklahoma, and got fired for his trouble or relieved of his duties, depending on who you want to talk to. And while many people thought that Alex Grinch would be the guy up next for that job, he ended up taking the job at Oklahoma, which meant that, hey, Ryan Day needed to go get a defense coordinator, and Jeff Hafley is that dude. Now, if he can get that back end fixed, in particular, that secondary, they should be really good. All things aside from Ohio State, Buckeye fans are just becoming a bit as more insufferable than Texas fans, but we'll just wait to see how that goes. At number 4, because we had 1A and 1B in Jeff Scott and Tony Elliott. Number 4, Jimmy Lake at Washington. Been on my list of the most capable defensive coordinators in college football. One of the next head coaches in waiting, if you will. I understand that he's very happy doing what he's doing for Chris Peterson at Washington, but that dude just continues to put NFL talent into the league. From Taylor Rapp to Byron Murphy, to Vita Vea, you can keep going. Those guys come out ready to ball, ready to play, and if they end up landing a guy like Keely Ringo in the 2020 recruiting class cycle, we're talking about Washington being a juggernaut just as they got into the blue chip ratio, which you've heard me talk about on this channel before in another show. Number 5 on his list is Alex Grinch. Okay, cool. Alex Grinch is a great defensive mind. We all know that he's expected to do great things at Oklahoma, but man, 1 year on the job as a defensive coordinator before this as the play caller, as the play caller at Washington State. I'll say 2 years. No, 1 stop. Did I say 1 year? I said 1 stop. I said 1 year. 1 stop. Washington State was his first job as defensive coordinator. And then he took the job at Ohio State, and he's back to play calling and being the guy running the show at Oklahoma. So I remember 2015 to 2017, Alex Grinch was at Washington State, and then he spent the year at Ohio State before coming to Oklahoma. Still think he needs to make Oklahoma a top 50, if not top 30, if not top 25 defense before he looks at another job. But who knows, right? If they go and win a national championship with a top 70 defense, which is probably what it would have taken in 2017, 2018 for them to do it, yeah, he could get a head coaching job if that's what he wants. And it seems like that's what he wants as a guy on that Larry Karras tree who could be next in line. Matt Campbell's been a head coach or is a head coach. Jason Toledo is a head coach. Nick Sirianni out at Colts. Yeah, Indianapolis Colts. He's an offensive coordinator out there. You can keep going. The list of guys that have coached at Mountain Union or played at Mountain Union, ridiculous. Alex Grinch is next, right? Josh Gattis, Michigan guy, offensive coordinator in his first year on the job after moving over from Alabama. I know that my man Masick is very high on him. He's a Michigan fan. He's the resident Michigan fan on my show, the RG Young Show in Tulsa on the Sports Animal. And I'm really excited about a guy who is 35 years old and knows from spread offense and is going to try to bring the air raid concepts from Alabama to Michigan, turn Shea Patterson into a player. All roads to the national championship go through Michigan this year. They have Georgia and Notre Dame on the schedule, in addition to Ohio State. They get Michigan State at home. This could be a really great year for Michigan, and if it is, Josh Gattis is going to have his pick of jobs as Clay Helton is on the hot seat, and Gus Malzahn is somehow on the hot seat, but he's there, right? Next on the list is Mike Elko, Texas A&M defensive coordinator. Texas A&M ain't won nothing. Texas A&M has played Clemson close, and that's about it. If they win a Big 12, if they win an SEC title, then we're talking about Mike Elko taking over a job that he wants. I don't even think they have to win a national championship. I just think they need to win the SEC championship and make it to the college football playoff. And we're talking about Mike Elko as being a dude that has his pick of jobs. Man, he turned, 4 seasons before he arrived, transformed this into the number 2 unit in the league. His work at Notre Dame and Wake Forest was also exemplary. Yeah, I mean, I think the only knock on that on Texas A&M is you got a lot of talent that you haven't done much with. Do something with this year. Don't let LSU hang 70 on you in an overtime game. Okay, whatever. I know I'm going to get pushback on that because it went into several overtimes. But you should be able to stop LSU from scoring. Okay, that wasn't an offensive juggernaut. I understand that Joe Burrow is pretty good, but it ain't like you were up against Oklahoma. All right, you should be able to stop people. And if Mike Elko can do that this year, be okay. Chip Long, offensive coordinator at Notre Dame. Man, I thought he would have taken a job this year, but the job that he might have taken was been in the Sun Belt, would have been in a Group of 5 conference league. I think he wants a big-time college football coaching job as his next job. Notre Dame needs to do something more to make the college football playoff for that to happen. They'd have to win a national championship. So keep your eye on him. Maybe if Brian Kelly gets fired, Chip Long ends up with a head coaching job. Who knows? But if Brian Kelly gets fired, nobody on that staff is going to have a good look, right? They're all going to be back down, busted down a notch like everybody else. So I think they really have to win a national championship for Chip Long to be on this list as a guy who's going to get a big-time college football head coaching job. Todd Orlando, same difference. You got to win a Big 12 title. You got to play in a college football playoff. You got to win a national title. You know what? Thinking about that now, they wouldn't even have to win a national championship. They could be like Texas A&M. If they win the Big 12 championship and they make the college football playoff, Todd Orlando could have his Group of 5 job. I don't think that he would get an high-value, big-time, major college football head coaching gig, but it's possible. I think that's definitely the cards if they win a national championship. And then at number 10 on Feldman's list, you got Joe Brady, LSU passing game coordinator, wide receivers coach. This dude has spent time with the New Orleans Saints, learned what Sean Payton was able to do with the high-powered offense out there, built on running. Drew Brees throwing to Michael Thomas, catching like 120 passes. We'll see if he can do something with Joe Burrow and turn that offense into something like a juggernaut. Other guys to mention here, Tom Menon is offensive coordinator at Iowa State. He's got Brock Purdy to teach. He's going to have a new running back group. He's going to have a new group of wide receivers that he's going to have to get into shape quickly. I mean, the Big 12 schedule is not easy for them, but if they can win a Big 12 championship, Tom Manning is going to get a job that he wants. Won't be a major college football job, but it will be one inside the Group of 5. I think another guy that I want to mention on this list is Graham Harrell, who's going to be in his first year as offensive coordinator at USC. If he can turn that program around, I don't expect him to stay long. I expect him to have a job in the Sun Belt, in the MAC, in Conference USA, honestly, if, say TU didn't get it together. I could see a guy like that taking over a program like that and doing great things. Last guy that I wanted to mention in here outside of Pete Golding, who is absolutely in line for a head coaching gig. I think he does a year or two at Alabama. He's going to be out, but I just don't think it's going to be after this year. Brian Hartline, Ohio State wide receivers coach. Dude is an absolutely amazing recruiter. He was a great player. I think he's going to get an opportunity next year regardless to be an offensive coordinator somewhere. But whether or not he takes the jump from position coach to head coach, I don't necessarily think that that's likely to happen. But those are the folks that I think we should keep our eyes on as we continue to go through college football. This list is really good. If you have a chance to go and read it on The Athletic, I'm probably going to refer to it a couple of times. I keep my list in a spreadsheet on my computer, and I'll update it with some information that I learned here that's absolutely remarkable. Bruce Feldman, one of the best college football writers that is out there working. All right, that is it for me. Deuces.